Ladies and gentlemen, now earlier I got a little bit smacked up by the endgame Thanos boss, and I've been doing like a couple of hours of extensive testing now, testing out so many different options, and I wanted to share some of the coolest kind of takedowns that I've had. And there are two different ones. There's one with Hyperion Gwenpool, and then there's one with Nick Fury, Black Panther Civil War, and Hawkeye. And that one, you know, toward the end is a little bit my favorite as well. But this is just to show you guys, you know, some options that work, how to deal with the fight. But we are going to do a bit more of an extensive video breaking down kind of everything you need to know. Because for the first couple of phases, man, Hyperion and Nick Fury make the first two phases very, very easy. They are massive cheese champions for dealing with the first 70%. But I kind of feel like most people aren't going to have that many problems once they understand the basics of the first 70%. It's kind of really that last like 30% that can be very, very deadly. When it comes to phase 1, you can see Hyperion very easily cheeses it, like it's just, you know, spamming special attacks, trying to keep Thanos stun locked, and kind of burning to that phase 2. And then as soon as you hit phase 2, you want to make sure you kind of dash back, because your controls are inverted, and then throw off a combo with a light attack ender to remove the control inversion there. And then with Hyperion, it's just use the special 2 and pray you get the stun. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, so you have to avoid the projectiles, which are always different, which is really, really annoying. And then you have to get kind of used to going back very quickly in after. But we've had actually some terrible RNG when it's come to the stuns in terms of this matchup here. However, I did back off a little bit earlier just so that we could go for another special 2, man. And we still don't get the stun, actually. I forgot how bad this try was in terms of RNG. And we weren't quick enough on going back in, kind of fumbled up a little bit there with the inverted controls as well. So, you know, I'm still not a perfect player when it comes to this fight by any means. But now we nail down a special 3 so we can get those charges up and deal a little bit of damage. And then we are back on this man. And when Thanos drops below 40%, and that's, you know, a mark to keep an eye on, he does become stun immune. So it's something to be very aware of when you're fighting this lad. But we managed to dodge the first one, dodge the second one, get straight back in there. And he's still above 40%, so we can still stun him there. We land the stun, we go for a bit of a heavy attack, try and charge some of those Furies up. Going for a 5 combo. Unfortunately, he has just gone below 40%, so we don't have a chance to stun anymore. So yeah, we just got to get some good evades, get back in quickly, and then, you know, it's really special one time if you want the incinerates for maybe a little bit more damage now. So he's almost in his final phase here. A great run with Hyperion, man. He's so good for the first few stages of this fight. Definitely one of the top 5 options in my opinion. And if you get really, really lucky and play very, very well, it's also possible to maybe get a 4 solo with Hyperion, but again, you do need to kind of get lucky with the dash attacks, because in this phase he does fuel up to his special 3 quite fast. So yeah, we are looking to get those intercepts, and luckily we got one just off the bat there. We get the armor break on Thanos, and during this final phase he can only take damage when he's got the armor break. So it's a case of the armor break slowly stacks up on you, and then you need to transfer it over to Thanos with an intercept. But then you only have a very, very short interval to actually get any damage off. But as the armor breaks get higher and higher, the damage really does scale up. So your special 3s and attacks, you know, when you land an intercept, can hit very, very hard. And it can make even the weeniest of champions be very, very effective in this last phase, providing they have some sort of way to deal with Thanos' special 3. So at base, any Avengers only take 15% of their max health from the special 3. They kind of have an inbuilt cap there, which is really, really good. Also, champions like Gwenpool, Iceman, anybody that has a way to kind of mitigate that special 3 damage is going to be very, very useful here. So you can see we did die with Hyperion, man. I haven't managed to get a full one-shot yet. It's going to be very, very tricky to do so. I think it is possible with maybe Hyperion or maybe a couple of other characters I'm having a bit of a look at the moment. But this finish, Gwenpool, is so good for this final phase, man. If your intercepts are on point and you're kind of dancing around Thanos really, really well, she is never going to die from the 3rd special. So as long as when you're low health, you're not kind of taking any blocked hits, then Gwenpool can infinitely survive. And also, as you kind of progress through, the damage is going to get more and more, because the armor break on you, which is applied to Thanos when you intercept him, just magnifies the damage even more. So, you know, this is possible if you are a skilled player, and, you know, it definitely does take a bit of practice this final phase, but once you get used to it, this is easily possible with a 4-star Gwenpool and even a 3-star version of the champion. So there we managed to get a cheeky little intercept. We got 13 stacks of armor break, so we fire off the special 3 here, and each stack of armor break is something like 750 armor reduction, so the special 3 hit there for 17,000, so quite a nice bit of benefit off there. And just as a reminder as well, in today's video we're not using like any boost at all, so if you're going for this run and you're really worried about Thanos progression, you kind of beef up your team and your roster by using some boost as well. Managed to get a cheeky intercept just moments ago, getting him down another 2% there. Again, if you can survive like a few special 3s and really get those armor breaks up, like your damage really does go through the roof. So it's really an endurance kind of challenge along with intercepting in this final phase, but we're definitely kind of on the ropes at the moment, man. We are in a little bit of a tricky situation, but one more intercept, 24 stacks of armor break there, straight for a special 3 there. I'm praying this one lands and gets this lad down, and it does, ladies and gentlemen. That hit for just over 55,000, so what a great finish there with Gwenpool. Now, the second kill, without using any revives, I went for a completely different setup this time. We used Nick Fury for the first 70%, and then Hawkeye, and also Black Panther Civil War at rank 2 as a 5-star for the final 30%. So, you know, it's a little bit of a weird one, man, but this was actually a really fun one to do, and also highlights how valuable even some of the lesser Avengers can be in that final phase, because you just want champions that can really stay alive to get big stacks of armor break to transfer over to Thanos, so you can get that really big damage when you're intercepting. And Nick Fury here is a bit of a cheese fiesta. As soon as he comes out of the first stone, we use the special 1 to kind of remove his damage back and stun reflect, and then we go straight in for the nuke there. Everything so far, I've perfectly lined up a really great nuke phase. So we're just going in with the combo there, straight onto a special 2. We get the stun, so you know he's pretty much in phase 2 already, man. Nick Fury, an absolute titan for this fight, and the next phase is about to trigger very shortly as well. So we want to make sure we're dashing back, which is actually going forward, and then using kind of a full combo with a light finish there in order to remove the control inversion. And in phase 2, he's not going to use a special until he has 2 bars of power, so I've saved up a little bit here, kind of delayed it a little bit, but you can see, man, we've absolutely rinsed through this phase. It's been so incredibly ridiculous, and I do get hit here, but because of the damage over time, it pushes him to the special 3. He's already there. You know, I don't really have any means of surviving or really doing much in this final phase, so this is the final phase, which is very unfriendly to anybody that's not an Avenger or has like serious damage reduction from the special 3. You know, like Ice Armor, Gwenpool, as we showcased in the first fight there. So, you know, you need to pick a good matchup, because even with the best luck in the world, it doesn't seem like you're always going to get an intercept. So if you play a champion that doesn't have a way to deal with the special 3, then yeah, there's a good chance you're going to get ruined. But Avengers, there's a lot less to worry about, and it makes stacking up the armor much easier. So now the fun and the ramp up begins with Hawkeye. We're trying to intercept where possible. There's not as much pressure to intercept with an Avenger, because you've got the guarantees you're going to take 15% of your maximum health from the special 3, although we do get a pretty nice intercept there. Again, we want to prolong this phase as much as possible, just so that we have the largest amount of time to stack up armor breaks on our champion, which then can be transferred over to Thanos fire and intercept. But also intercepting and landing hits allows us to build up to our special 3, and that's really where a lot of the damage is dealt there. So we got a pretty nice intercept there, got 9 stacks of armor break, managed to do another one as well, 10 stacks of armor break, and straight in there with a special 3. So Hawkeye, you know, he's putting in all sorts of work at the moment, and the special 3 is going to be a bit more charged via the armor break, although not super charged. So you can see that one dealt actually just under 25,000 damage, so a lot of value from Hawkeye there. However, as the armor breaks go up, it's generally around kind of like 18 plus. The damage just becomes really crazy from everything. So definitely keep an eye on that. So yeah, we're doing quite well so far, man. We haven't really got smacked about too much. We're on 65%. We've got 13 stacks of armor break. I kind of let him use that special 3 a little bit too quickly. I should have pressured into his block a little bit, kind of bought a little bit more time so that we could stack up even more armor breaks. And yeah, one of the masteries of this fight as well is keeping yourself very open in the corner so that Thanos kind of backs off, you know, Nightcrawler, Stark Enhanced Spider-Man playstyle. So it's just something to get a little bit used to, but you can see now we're at 16 stacks of armor break, so if we can land an intercept, man, we can get some very, very nice damage. However, we're at 42%. We're going to be going down to 27% as well after the special 3. So yeah, we are skating on thin ice at this point, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, we go in for an intercept, don't quite get it there, cheeky little backdraft, man, and managed to get 20 stacks of armor break on this Thanos, and this special 3 hits much, much harder. And yeah, it's just really satisfying seeing Hawkeye's special 3, man, because you just, like, you never see it, man, and it's doing so much damage. That one was just over 45,000 damage there. We got a cheeky little intercept to top up the damage there. Thanos is on 8%, but I make a bit of a mistake and get a little bit shook after we go back into this matchup and kind of hold block, which forces him into the corner, and then we kind of fail to evade a heavy attack. But between Nick Fury and Hawkeye taking down 92% of this Thanos, I thought it was a pretty good effort, man. They did really, really good, so I was really impressed. However, to finish this fight off, ladies and gentlemen, we need an absolute titan of a champion. I'm talking about 5-star Black Panther Civil War at rank 2, who is also tagged as an Avenger. So yeah, I just need the armor breaks to stack up and to get some intercepts, and then we can have a pretty good time. But we get a nice little 5 combo off the bat. We've got 4 stacks of armor break already. Another intercept there, man. So, you know, I've been practicing a fair bit against this Thanos, and practice does definitely make perfect when it comes to this fight. But I will say, as a bit of advice for this Thanos, if it's going really bad, don't be afraid to kind of exit out and go back in. Again, you don't have like this final chapter with like 7 paths. You've only got one big Thanos fight, so don't be afraid if you are like really, really struggling in the fight to kind of go out and back in, but it's up to your judgment when you want to exit and then, you know, when you want to reuse revives. But definitely, I think the first 2 phases, you know, there are ways to get through them very, very quickly and very, very easily with a lot of stun champions and Zerg champions. We're going to be covering all sorts of options over the next couple of days on the channel to deal with this Thanos fight. But yeah, I think for a lot of people, the real difficulty is in this final phase. But hey, we managed to get a very cheeky intercept there, and we smacked down a special 3, so that one, in terms of damage, dealt just over 23,000, which is pretty good, man, pretty good. But you can see the armor breaks are going up a little bit higher in this fight in comparison to the previous one as well. So yeah, this is just a really, really fun way to finish the fight, man. I never thought I'd be using my Black Panther Civil War, kind of rank 2, to finish off the Thanos for endgame. But yeah, really, really cool time, man. Really did enjoy this. So we get a cheeky low intercept there. Not quite, but we are so incredibly close. He's down to 2%, and we've taken a fair chunk out of 2% as well. So I'm just looking really for one more intercept to maybe try and slam a special as well once we get that intercept and take this lad down. So we go for it there. Unfortunately, that didn't count. A cheeky little backdraft there. Special 2, the first hit, hits for 8,000 and takes Thanos down. So ladies and gentlemen, smash that like button for Black Panther Civil War coming in clutch and finishing up that fight for us. But hopefully you enjoyed today's Thanos kills. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and have an absolutely fantastic day.